Hi, I'm Zoe with GMO Free Lancaster County, and I'm here at Oasis with Mr. Stoltzfus. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
We're here in on his beautiful farm, and we have all of this beautiful organic and local produce. Mr. Stoltzfus, would you tell us a little bit about the philosophy of Oasis and why you guys feel that why you're organic?
Well, if you don't mind, Zoe, I'll correct you on just one thing, and that is we're not actually on the farm, but what you see in the store here, we're in the retail store of Oasis at 60 North Ronks Road in Ronks, Pennsylvania. And what you see in here represents about 30 to 35 different farms that where we're gathering fresh produce, which is you can see here behind me, and we're getting grass-fed beef and pork. On the right there, you can see there's a little more, not a real big display in the store today, but on the beef. But that is grass-fed beef and pork. It's from free-ranging pork, what we call woodland pork, pigs that go out and eat acorns and grass in the fields, and that's the pork that we have. And the beef is totally grass-fed, as is the milk that we have over here in the dairy case. And our cheeses all come from grass-fed, organic, grade A milk. There's just nothing better, nothing more healthy that you can find anywhere in the county or many other places.
Excellent. What's sort of your philosophy on food and on health? Why are you guys here?
Our philosophy, first of all, on food is that we want to make available food that is as close to its natural state as is humanly possible. And to go a bit further than that, we encourage all our farmers to test their soil for nutrients and amendments that they might need to put in there, organic nutrients and amendments. And then we also encourage tissue testing on the crops to see what actually is the nutrient density of the produce that we bring in here. The cows that are where our milk comes from for the cheese and the yogurts and the raw milk and the pasteurized milk and all that, drinkable yogurts. Those cows are not fed corn silage or grain, and they're not fed any GMO products of any kind. They eat grass year-round or hay in the wintertime. They don't produce quite as much milk in the wintertime. So
of course.
In the spring we have a flush of milk that we have to find something to do with, and in the wintertime it gets a little bit tight. But we live with that because we like that natural seasonal cycle. So we're trying to, like I said, provide food that is as healthy and natural as it can possibly be.
So your grass-fed beef and your milk, none of that has any GMOs in it because the cows are all grass-fed?
None.
Excellent. Okay.
And our produce is as far from GMO as you could possibly get.
Okay. Excellent. What sort of what opinion do you have about genetically modified foods and their impact on health?
Well, I know nothing about the scientific part of genetically modifying a stalk of corn. I'm skeptical of the health values or benefits of it. Or it wouldn't take much at all for me to be convinced that it would be unhealthy. But I know nothing about that. But what I do know is that GMO crops are designed to withstand chemical pesticides. Synthetic, and glyphosate is a huge part of Monsanto's Roundup pesticide, and they call it Roundup Ready corn. So it means that the corn can grow even if it's sprayed. It can be growing out in the field. The weeds maybe come. You do the first spraying, and you kill maybe 75% of the weeds, and before the corn gets too high that you can't spray it anymore, there's some other nasty weeds that pop up their heads. So you can, spray it again, maybe a little bit heavier the second time, and get rid of that second crop of weeds. Maybe even have a third crop before the corn gets high enough to shade everything and no more weeds can grow. And my concern about that is what happens to the pesticides that go into the ground and go into the corn and go into the streams. They don't just go away. And there's something major happening in our health in this country as a result of the things that we've eaten for the last 50 to 60 years when science came along with manufactured foods things that taste like strawberries, things that taste like chocolate, things that taste like things that we like. Pleases our palate, it looks nicely packaged, and so we eat it. And we're now reaping the consequences of that. We have all around us, I mean, we have illness and allergies. We have, where did autism come from? I'm 62 years old. I never heard of autism when I was a kid. I never heard of autism until, 20 years ago, 25, 20 years ago. Now it seems rampant. And what are we doing for autism? We're giving kids shots to calm them down. This is ridiculous. There's a root cause here. And I think we're learning more and more about what we eat and what we put in our stomachs, and the balance of bacteria that we have in our stomachs to digest things and get the value of the food into our systems. We're learning more and more about how important that is, and that's what this movement is all about. That's what Oasis is all about. Providing the food that leads to good health and just healthy bodies that can resist all these other ailments that are so prevalent.
We're so glad that you guys are here, and very excited to be able to share this resource with other people so that they can know where to find these healthier foods. Mr. Stoltzfus, what kind of advice would you have for our group as we go forward to try to raise awareness about GMOs and about the benefits of eating an organic, whole foods diet?
Well, I really affirm the gathering demonstration that you just informed me about coming up on October 12th in Lancaster City and at Musser Park. That sort of thing is a huge part of education. I hope that you can get some good press coverage for that, and learning. We just have to keep learning, working together, acting on what we know, and even on our hunches. Acting on our hunches. The interesting thing about this whole movement is the results and the understandings of it are mostly anecdotal, because the scientists aren't really interested in it, because there's not a lot of money to be made,
right?
Except for there is a huge industry around soil amendments, organic soil amendments, and that kind of thing. But mainly, conventional agribusiness is keeping its head turned away and even resisting it. But the beauty of our system of commerce in this country is that we can vote with our wallets. And that's where a group like yours can have a tremendous impact. And, then labeling, working for labeling GMO foods and letting people make their own decisions about what they want to eat and not eat. It would be a huge thing if we could have legislation that would require, just like we have nutrition facts on
right.
our food. We have expiration dates. We have all this, information that's mandated by the federal government in many cases. Why is it so terrible? Why is it so threatening to label food that comes from GMO and just let people choose for themselves? We do it with cigarettes. We put what do you call it?
The warning label.
Warning labels on cigarettes and on alcohol, and people still, they consume it if they want to, but others don't. They have
a choice, an informed choice.
Yeah, an informed choice, right? And I think talking about an informed choice, that's a positive way to approach the whole problem.
That's definitely the way we try to frame it. I totally agree with you. So we'll keep going forward, and we'll definitely send people here to check you guys out.
Good.
Thank you very, very, very much, Mr. Stoltzfus.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Take care.
Stopping.